You're most welcome to the Harmony of Minds podcast. We are very happy to see you today. Uh, Before we begin today's podcast, I would like to request us to share a link with a friend because the guest we have today is such an amazing personality that you need to know. Uh, she's a lady that has won so many crowns. She's a very purposeful lady in the way that she lives her life. She's an educator. She's someone that empowers youth. She's someone that has been able to represent Uganda at a very big international stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Miss Culture International, Sanyu. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Could you briefly tell us who you are besides the other side of the pageantry? Would you tell us who you are? Yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sanya Ruth Mugabi. I am 24 years old. I love Jesus. I am a teacher by profession. I am a pageant queen. I am an artist and also the pioneer of the Rose Creative Hub.
Oh, that's amazing. I would like first and foremost to know, while growing up, what were some of your dreams?
When I was a child, I had many dreams. One of them was being a lawyer. I don't know where that one died. But the one that always stood out for me was being a star.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and then how did the whole culture start to come in?
The culture bit of it started when I was in my second year in university when I signed up for Miss Tourism. And then I was taken back to the roots because they told me it was supposed to go through stages. So I had to first go and run for Buganda is divided into counties. So I had to first run for Miss Tourism in my county, which is Chadondo.
Oh,
So I
wow.
became first runner up Miss Tourism Chadondo.
Wow.
Then I upgraded to Miss Tourism Buganda Kingdom. We had a boot camp for 2 weeks in the King's Palace where we were taught about very many things that indulge in culture, food, clothing, like the history. So when we had the competition, I emerged as the talent and sports queen.
Wow.
Then the journey continued.
Wow.
It kind of diverted off culture, but then I stood for Miss Petit Global Uganda, and that one it was like an open pageant that basically empowered young women. I was like, I feel like I need to be empowered more. I need a platform that would help me probably preach to the world, speak to the children, encourage peers. So in the pageantry world, I am not an ideal person for the crown because of, well, I am seated, but if you realize I'm not a 5'5" or a 5'6", I'm a 5'2". So that's one of the qualifications that is needed for beauty pageants. But I was like, no, I'm not supposed to really like take it on to here. So I competed and I emerged winner, but I was advocating for quality education. And that's when the Rose Creative Hub comes in.
Okay.
Then furthermore, after my first international representation at Miss Petit Global in Malaysia, that was this year in May, I was nominated Miss Culture Uganda. And in 4 weeks, I had to prepare and go to Indonesia to represent Uganda for Miss Culture.
Could you try to give us the difference between Miss Petit and then the Miss Culture? Someone would want to know there.
Oh, basically, Miss Petit is a pageant that focuses on empowering young women. That petite is a French word for small, but that is like the literal meaning. But then the whole thing behind it, it embodies all women of size, height, like it brings together everyone because their foundation is all about empowerment. So if you have something you'd want to advocate for and you really feel like these other stages will not be the stages you want to associate with, or they are not stages that blend with your physique, Miss Petite is the like the pageant. It's like the right space for you to go and identify with. Well, as Miss Culture, it is like culture speaks for itself. It is basically a pageant that is celebrating the diverse cultures we have in the world. As Miss Culture Uganda, I have to embrace and celebrate the 56 cultures we have in Uganda and try to represent each one of them where I can and where it is very possible.
So, well, I looked at your biography and it really mesmerizes me because there is a lot that you do. How do you juggle from being a beauty queen to being a teacher to being that person that is into art? Basically, which of all the three feels more home to you? And I also heard about now the sports bit. Which sports do you do? Someone wants to know. Yes.
I am a cheerleader.
Wow.
A sport that doesn't almost exist in Uganda, but I gladly do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So which feels more home to you?
What feels more home to
yes.
me is actually being a pageant queen, because that is where most of my time is invested. But as I carry this responsibility, it doesn't stop on wearing the crown, because we go deep into the communities to interact with people. There I practice teaching.
Wow. Okay.
Then
Amazing.
And then also empowering other people. That's where the art comes in, because I pass on a skill to these people I interact with. So that's how I am able to balance them. But when it comes to professionalism, I didn't sign up for a full-time job. So I work at Beanstalk Nursery and Daycare, and that's where I part-time, and I work with children for their creative sessions.
Amazing. So which, there are very many forms of art. Which exact forms are you really good at? Is it painting? Is it whatever?
Okay.
I don't know.
For commercial purposes or for work purposes, I mostly biased to painting, but I majored in sculpture, so I'm a sculptor.
Wow.
And also fabric decoration, so I can design intricate patterns.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, I did try to do some background search on you, and I looked at the entire competition of the Miss Culture International that happened in, is it Malaysia?
No, Indonesia.
In Indonesia, yes, yes. And along with you were very many very beautiful. I saw there were different segments within that entire competition where you had to come speak, where you had to try on different attires, you know, but you were able to stand out and you reached to a level whereby first and foremost you were in the top 5, right?
Yeah.
Then on top of that you became second, you know, and obviously the first in Africa.
Yeah.
That is really amazing. How did you feel in that moment before the declaration of first, those are 5, and then when it came to announcing the runners-up, because I believe it comes with a lot of tension. In that moment, how were you feeling? Like, did you ever feel like you wanted to faint or?
Well, for the Miss Culture journey, I would just say thank you, God, because it was God from the very beginning. Like, a lot of things happened behind scenes before me landing in Medan. There was a lot of back and forth things that happened. But when I landed in Indonesia safely, all I told myself was, Ruth, you know what has brought you here. So it's time to brace up. I know you're fatigued from a 3-day transitioning flight. Wow. Just brace up yourself. It is just 7 days. You're going to rest after the 7 days. I found when they were done with 2 sessions, that was the sports round and the evening gown photo shoot, I just told the director, you know what, give me 15 minutes. I'm going to go dress up, change. I'll be done with this and I'll join the rest for lunch. That very evening, we had talent night. So when I did those things real fast, we got to showcase our talents. So I did showcase my talent, and yeah, it was quite a competitive session. But then over time, I realized that since I was the only Black, everyone was interested to see what do I have to present. Like everyone is curious. So I'm like, now this is a plus. I should now show them that I'm not here to show you a lot, but then I'm going to make sure that I stand out on every activity we do. The following evening, we had our welcoming dinner, that is the sashing ceremony, and we had to do our official profiles. And the way I did my personal profiling just mesmerized everyone, because different countries used to come and they'd be like, I am so-and-so from this country. Then there comes me, and I just had to sing out Uganda. And it stuck on everyone's mind. Like even now when they're texting me, they're like, Uganda. So that made everyone be like, that was a surprise. So let's watch out for more. So that's how the competition kept on going. I just kept on throwing in bits of surprises. Then we did showcase of national costume. They hadn't seen something as enormous. Okay, they do enormous costumes, but then they didn't expect someone to travel all the way from Africa with something as huge as someone who has an hour flight to the competition, because most of their costumes were just flown in that day. Now me, I just carried a special suitcase for my national costume. And it was made out of raffia, backcloth, sisal, and it had art printed all over it that communicated what an African woman does. The gardening, it had fruits baskets, the homestead all over it. It captured their attention, and well, we won Best National Costume. So we also brought that award home.
Amazing.
So fast forward to the competition, grand finale. Staff, the nerves are there. The whole hour before we stepped on stage after dry run through, I was crying.
Why?
I don't know,
Stage
but I had like, you're nervous. You're like, now the whole of Uganda is watching. Okay, you're not sure if they're watching or or like you're just there. But I was nervous, so I was talking to my friends, and they're like, no, Ruth, everything is going to be okay. Just stay calm, like breathe in, relax. All is going to go well. So we started the competition. We did the sports round. We did what, and then it came to announcing of top 8. They announced. I was 7th to be announced that I made it to top 8. So like you're like 15 delegates standing and they're announcing this country, you clap. This country, you clap. This country, you're like, but why? So when they announced Uganda, I took my walk, then I took my position. Then we had to go and prepare for our speech. Now, I got a brain freeze at that moment. I forgot the speech I had prepared to present, because they had given us the question, like they give you the question first day. For those that make it to top 5, to top those that make it to top 5, you're going to present a speech, and this is the question. So all of you get the same question, so you have to prepare. So me, I forgot what I had prepared. I reached the microphone, and well, God was with me. I was able to say something. And yeah, that's how I made it to top 5. And yeah, they started reading out announcing the runners up, 5th runner up, 3rd runner up, 4th runner up, 2nd runner up. I'm like, okay, now this is the moment. I somewhat knew. I was like, in that moment when we were holding hands with my friend, I just burst out and cried, and all I was saying is, thank you, God, because even if I got the crown or not, I still had made it.
Yeah.
Like, I was not going to ask for anything else. So that's how I felt.
And the money, how did you feel not winning the $10,000?
Well, I know I invested a lot, but at the end of the day, the money comes, because the different projects I work on back home, you're given things, but even the money that is given to the winner, you end up investing it because you
Yeah.
have to do trips to
Sure.
almost all countries that were part
Oh, wow.
of the event. So it's like literally a token to help you push on with putting the brand out there.
So let me ask, does that mean that getting it to that step of Miss Culture, it means that you have to really invest in so much? Someone from a humble background may not easily get into these kind of competitions, because if it involves then footing your air ticket, etc., then creating the costumes and all that. By the way, did you create the costumes from here with
Yeah, it's
which fashion designer?
she's called Rebecca Chisache, but her brand is Rebecca Hillon House. So she's the one that did my costumes. Yeah.
At a subsidized price, or?
We talk.
Oh, wow.
We talk
Amazing.
because she's also into the industry, so she knows the drill.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, so as an artist and as a queen, I believe that there have been so many opportunities that you have been at such a level whereby you are at the final stage and they have to choose the very best. I know that must have been, it was more of an international kind of level. But come back to Uganda. Have you ever had this kind of burnout or self-doubt again, or it just happened while you were that side?
No, like I told you before, there was a journey before that led to me going for culture. So I think that came about when I was doing Miss Tourism. And it was a lot of us. Remember, each county had brought 3 girls. That is 18 counties. That is 3 times 18, about some good number. In boot camp, I remember we were approximately 36 girls. And you're this one person and you have to compete with these 36 girls, and you're all looking forward to having one crown. That is the Miss Tourism Buganda Kingdom crown. And during that competition, yes, you have friends, but then you don't know what their intentions are because you've all come to compete. And we are in a boot camp for 2 weeks. Things weren't easy. Like boot camp, it's not this glam and word, it's hard work. And now there comes me that now joined this whole thing, because my whole point was, let me go and learn, because I come from a family that doesn't front culture. They're like, yes, you must know about your culture, but they don't get an extra effort to help, to get you to learn whatever happens there, because we are inclined to Christianity. But then I was like, no, but these things do what? Happen in the world. So let me go and find out, because I am here, you go and tell people you're in Muganda, nebagamba tambula ng'Omuganda, and you're like, yeah, up to now my working as a Muganda is there, but at least I know.
First time.
We shall come back. We shall come back.
We shall come back to that. Anyways, I feel like, how do you feel like this whole thing of beauty, how does it then tie down to your mental wellness? How does it tie down to really that builds your self-esteem?
Well, beauty, mental wellness, self-esteem. If you do not have a brain and the heart of being patient, you break down in one day. Now, for me, when I was put low because of my height, and whenever people ask me, like, where are your heels today? Like, why are you not matching? Why are you not matching with us? Like, you don't fit the company. You're like, okay, it doesn't make sense. I remember there is a time when, before I crossed over to pageantry, I had gone for a casting, and this specific model cast, model they're the model caste people. This specific person told me, you have everything we are looking for, but you're 4 inches below the required height.
Oh.
That shattered me. That shattered me. I was like, Kale, you man, you're ruthless. In my heart, I just went, packed my bag, got my black heels, I left. But that made me feel like, okay, if I'm not appreciated in this kind of environment, let me look for an environment that will do what? That will appreciate me. That's when I got to really take time to investigate and get to learn about beauty pageants. And I realized that beauty pageants are not all about beauty. There is something added to the beauty. It is purpose. I'm like, if you can win me in height, I have a better purpose. So I was like, now let me go win these people with my brain. Let me put myself together and use my brain. Let me use what I have studied. Let me put everything together and see how I make sense out of everything. In the beginning, it didn't make sense. You go, they ask you, you say this, tomorrow you have another idea, you hear this one say this. So you get confused. And then when it came to very much of competitiveness, like beauty pageants are a job themselves. Leaving alone money, you've invested, you have to invest in your brain. You have to research. You have to put concepts together. You have to make sure that whatever you're saying, you have proof. Because I cannot come and I tell you I am an advocate for quality education, yet you have not stepped out into the community to try to help a child or a youth or someone contribute to their journey in education. And you're here telling the whole world, I'm advocating for this, and you've done nothing about it before. And the whole of that confusion and not confusion just helped me know that with my state of mental well-being is I had to strike a balance. I had to know what I am supposed to do, when and where. There are events that come up and I'm like, no, this doesn't align with my values. This doesn't align with what I am doing. Why should I burn out? Because I have done a lot. I'm trying to regain. Why should I burn out going for this? And it's going to be another reason for another breakdown, because I'm going to find another person who's going to come and throw a dirty comment. And they're like, oh, you know what? That's cut today. And you know, you're a beauty queen. You have to walk the talk. You're not going to show up in a place when you look disorganized, when you look shattered. You have to look clean. You have to look smart. You have to represent royalty. So I just had to start making choices, because if I didn't get myself to that point, then I would still probably be in a state of confusion up to date. Yeah.
So I see that we live in an era where culture is being diluted by the whole global appeal. There is really a lot happening. You find that spiritual leaders, some of them are decampaigning culture, while also some so-called, should I call them married counselors, tell people, you know what, some of these cultural practices are not good. So as you do your work, how have you been able to, say, maybe create a distinctive understanding of the two? And how are you, as a Christian, you talked about the fact that you come from a family that is a very staunch kind of like Christian. So how have you been able to convince them, and how have you been able to basically promote culture while still standing strong on your Christian values?
Well, that's a tricky one and very challenging. But personally, I decided to not dive into the deeper conversations that are associated with culture, because there are different ways I can present culture. I can present culture through food, through dressing, through song. Like there are various ways I can do than going into the detail, because going into the detail is me trying to open up something that is going to bring a lot of confusion to me myself. Because even the people we reach out to get some of this information also got it from like the history of oral, like oral literature. Like they also got the information from some people, and then the fact that I am Christian, and there are some rituals, they're called culture ceremonies or rituals, that do not align with the word of God or with what Christians believe. I try not to practice, because I don't practice what I am not sure of. I only do that. I know I'm going to do the traditional dance. At least I know I am dancing. There are those things that are done, they call them ebisoko. When they're doing the traditional dance, if I don't understand, why should I do it? But if I know what it means, then I will do it. So I try not to confuse myself by getting into the depth of culture. So that's how I've been able to speak for culture, like as a Gen Z who doesn't have a lot of history about it, but I am able to at least present or put out what I have been able to observe, what I've been able to hear from my grandparents or from cult leaders in the community, or what I've read from the internet. And I try to practice that which has made sense to me. And the most active way I practice culture is through the art, the artwork I do. One of my university projects was basically a whole research about Endere Culture Center, where I got to realize that this place is a home where different cultures come to meet and get to bring the Ugandan flavor as one. And I just developed an abstract artwork that symbolized unity. So with culture, it's all about getting us together as one, not dividing us. When I get back to the side of the Bible, it also has its own culture. Like there is the kingdom culture for Christ, and then there is also the culture, because if we run away from it, then why do you have your grandparents and great-grandparents? Because it was also reflected on the other hand, like there's a lineage where Christ came from, so we also have our own backgrounds. But you don't have to go and look for whatever is there if you are not ready to understand it, but just focus on what can help you stay as one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. You did speak about the fact that you're basically positioning yourself to pick some of the good practices and passing them on to the Generation Z, basically. And I would want to know more there. There have been instances whereby you find that we are in an age where most of us don't speak our native languages or use mostly English. And I know of many Baganda families whereby they have kids and they can't speak even a single word in Luganda. As a misculture, is there anything you've ever thought about doing about that? Especially in even some of the schools we have here in Buganda, you find that it's way too common, especially in this era.
I would say when I am running activities under my initiative, the Rose Creative Hub, that brings together various children. Vulnerable, I reach out. Those that are not vulnerable are those that come to better their life skills. And in this center of focus, when I discover that you are not familiar with your native language, I encourage you to like keep on poking your parents to teach you at least a word per day. So the next time you come back, you would come and tell me, today I learned this is how we greet in this language, like I'm Langi, and in our language we greet Biaibo. And they would, like the kids would be now focused on, Mommy, I want to learn, how do they do this? How do they say this? So I at least task the children wherever I be, like if you do not know how, at least go and learn 5 words. And if you find you are interested, they will be like pushed to do their own research, and eventually over time they will learn. But I have not like put out like some whole big workshop or something to train, but the few people I interact with, I always encourage them to at least learn 1 or 2, learn how to say thank you, like survival words. Learn how to greet in your local language, learn how to ask for food, learn how to ask for where the washrooms are, learn how to say thank you, and also probably just learn any random word that is funny that you could just put there and people be like, hey. So yeah.
I love food so much. I don't know, you haven't yet spoken about food yet. Food really aligns so well with culture. By the way, what's your best local dish?
Matoke and vinyewa.
Oh, amazing.
That have the mushrooms.
The mushrooms. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. So you did talk about Ruse Creative.
Yes.
I've seen some of the activities you've done, reaching out to different communities in Uganda, traveling to different schools with fellow quadrant, queens. Yeah, so I really feel like you have really done so much in there. But I would want to know, as you do all that, what is that one story that really made you feel like, okay, I think I started up this thing and I'm now starting to see that indeed it's making wonders. That you felt like indeed I'm starting to see the purpose for why I started up this. Could you share with us one story?
That story is it's on its way, but I would say starting up the Rose Creative Hub was something I didn't want, but someone pushed me. Like someone just called me and they were like, I know you don't know me, but I've been observing you, I've been seeing you, I'm so and so, I work with this organization. Could we meet up? I'm like, okay, so we meet. They introduce themselves to me, I get to know them. They're like, I'm giving you 2 weeks, think about doing something. Think about doing something. I'm like, but I have no money, I have nothing. They're like, don't worry about the money, we are going to solicit for funds. This person tells me, identify a community. I'm like, I cannot identify a community. They take me to a certain community. And they introduced me to they took me to our seed school in Chiwatule, KCCA, Sentimbaga. And they introduced me to the head teacher, the staff, and I was able to see the students. I interacted with the students. I asked them, what are the challenges you're facing? It's a town school, but still, the girl child, as always, menstrual health. They're like, when we get into our periods, we miss school for approximately 3 to 4 days because we cannot afford to buy sanitary towels. Meanwhile, this is a school in town where we feel like moreover in Chiwatule, where we feel like these people that stay this side, they are well off, everything is sorted. I'm like, okay, it dawned to me at that moment that I had to do something about it. So I was like, I'm going to do a workshop where I'm going to train you guys on how to do reusable sanitary pads. Now ask me, did I know how to make one? YouTube, I got tutorials, I made notes. The fact that I'm a creative, so it comes easy. I went to YouTube, I got to see what materials I needed, I made notes, I went to Chikubo, I disturbed people, I asked for materials, I bought the things, and we went back to the school the next week on a Thursday. I had a session with the kids, and I saw they were interested in learning, and it was good. So this person that introduced me to the whole of this idea told me, I'm not giving up on you. So your 2 weeks are getting done next week. What are you doing? I'm like, I think I have an idea. Why don't I just make this a project, like a sustainable project? And then I was like, now what am I going to do? I remember in that particular moment, I was still doing my school practice in Chitante Hill School. And I was sitting in the art room, like, art teachers, you're special. You never sit in the staff room. You always have your offices somewhere. So I was seated in the office of the art teachers, and that's the very day my supervisor was coming, but he was delayed. And then this whole idea came. I started drafting. I left my file, preparing for the lesson I was going for. And then I started preparing a whole lot of different things. I remember scribbling out Ruz. I'm like, my name is Ruth. Ruz. And I'm like, Ruz, Raz, Riz. And then I'm like, no, Ruz sounds better. It sounds cool. Then I'm like, now what? Creative what? Hub. So I'm like, but I would need to do this. I'm like, but I only have 5 days to have something pulled off. And then I'm this kind of person, as an artist, we were taught in our graphic lessons that you're not going to do anything when it's not branded. I'm like, I need a logo. So I start drafting and scribbling. I pick ideas. Then when I finished with the day at school, I go home. I remember the first thing I did was open up an email account. I called my friend. I asked him to design for me a logo, which took 3 days. He sent it to me thereafter. Then I told this person, I think I'm going to launch a project. And then they're like, what? I'm like, I'm going to launch a project. So I'm going to request the head teacher to give me another 2 weeks so that I can put this whole place in plan. But then I've been teaching these children how to make reusable sanitary towels. So I think I need to leave something impactful, like something that they would keep working with. So they're like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to buy a sewing machine. He's like, on which money? I'm like, I don't have money, but I'm going to buy a sewing machine. So he's like, okay, it's fine. He took me to town to Senga Sew. And he's like, he introduced me to the gentleman, and he was like, this is one of the girls from the kingdom. She's running this whole project. She's been engaging with children in Chihuahua and teaching them this, but then she would want you to partner with her to donate a machine to a school. And then we asked how much the machines are, 2 point something. I'm like, I have 600K, which I didn't have.
Electric or the
my whole thing was getting a manual machine, but for the sake of flexibility and sustainability and operation by many, the electric machine would be better. So when I went to Senga, so these people were pointing me into the direction of getting a portable electric machine. And it was way out of my budget. And they asked me, what's your budget? I told them I had planned around 600,000, which I didn't also have. So they're like, it's okay, you will come with that money and we shall give you the machine. I'm like, really? They're like, they called him my manager. Your manager asked for a partnership, and this is the way we can also contribute to giving back to the community. So we shall be giving you a second-hand machine at this price. So just get a day, come with the children, and we teach you how they operate it. Personally, I also didn't know how to operate one. Nali pisa na uzi kutunga.
And there you learned.
And then I learned to operate the machine. But the local machine, I had learned how to operate it, of which that's also another story, because I think I'm a quick learner. I learned how to run a machine in 1 week. So fast forward, I did the project launch. It was a mega event, and the children were blessed. The community was blessed. I usually do random visits, and the teachers are proud to present to me things that the kids are making, not only pads, but also clothing.
Amazing.
For their weekend classes. They are having an art club. They do jewelry. When the school goes for these random activities that keep happening, they carry some of their products to also show other people. And probably if they're lucky, they make sales, which is a good thing for them. So that motivated me to keep running. I was like, if this was a success, then other things can happen. So after that, I was like, this was overwhelming. So I started taking on individual projects. I worked with Little Miss Tourism Uganda as their official coach for their first edition of the pageant. And there I identified some interesting children. And then after their competition, I talked to their parents. And this specific parent, I asked her if I could mentor her daughter. And she was like, it's okay. Then later on, I get to realize that she has 4 daughters.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, so this is my first batch of clients for the Creative Hub. So I just used to have random interactions with them, phone call, what. When there's a free weekend, we spend time together. I get to know what the children's interests are. When they have homework, like I really didn't have a plan of what to do, but the whole point was be around the children and give them a reason to see life differently and be better.
Yeah.
So we keep on engaging, and they're doing well. They're future
Amazing.
leaders.
Wow.
One of them is a public speaker,
That's amazing.
and the other one is a girl guide. She really like just loves taking on leadership at school. Whenever they're having sports days, they literally like cry, Ruth, please come for our sports days, come for this. Ruth, they've given us a lot of work. We are confused. Please come and help us do our project works. I remember when they had a science fair and they had science projects. And I remember spending a weekend with them and we were working on these projects. And I couldn't believe what these kids could
Would do.
sit down
Yeah.
and focus and put up these big projects after just watching tutorials on YouTube and doing what, like they really put up a different thing, and that really like kept me pushing. I was like, no, this is not the end of the journey.
Yeah.
And then another family reached out and their girl was participating in Little Miss Tourism second edition, and they were like, yeah, they told us about you. You trained last year, but then you're not the trainer this year, so we would want you to train our child privately. So I take on the child and we are working. And at the end of the day, this kid was shy to themselves, but with the different engagements I had with her, she kept on showing me signs of, I want to be better, I want to do this. And I remember she one day was walking in town with her mom and she saw something beautiful. And she told her mom, Mommy, we are buying this for Auntie Ruth. And her mom asked her, you've just known her for 2 weeks. Why are you coercing me to buy something for someone I've known for 2 weeks? And then she bought me our small, cute handbag. And then when she gave it to me, I felt, I cried. But then she was gifted. She's a little painter. So we kept on going through her painting sessions. And then presentation day, she did well. And she was crowned Total Miss Wildlife 2024, 2025. And she just wrote a small storybook and that communicates about wildlife and how she would want to interact with animals and stuff.
Yeah.
And she launched at her school, Train Up a Child Primary School, and she shared her storybook with her peers. That means I did not just get someone from a certain position. I've given them an extra empowerment
Wow.
of being able
Amazing.
to share with others and also document
Wow,
what
this
they're
is-
doing.
This is such a powerful story. Well, viewers there, first and foremost, please continue subscribing, continue sharing the link with your fellow colleagues. There is a lot to learn here. It's not just about beauty, it's beauty with brains. You're hearing stories of purpose, a story that is really transforming how other young girls there can really have impact in their society. So as we continue, I would like to ask you, Sunny,
Yes, sir.
in your line of work, I see that you're working a lot with the young girls out there, but I tend to see some of the mental health issues are affected. Actually, some girls usually get some of those mental health issues. You spoke about some of them, like that time when they get into their menstrual periods. Yeah. how have you been able to address more challenges all around mental health?
Um, I have been able to address challenges around mental health when it comes to the younger community or the children by encouraging them not to stay in solitudeness, like not being alone.
Alone, yeah.
I usually tell these children that we have things we do behind the curtains and we don't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
And these things that we usually do are those things that hurt us.
Yeah.
They're those things that break us. They're those things that make you feel like, why did I come into this world? But I keep telling them, if you're pushed to being in that kind of situation, because they are children, I'm not going to bring the complexity, like now you should do this.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're in this situation or you feel like you're about to zone out and try to be alone, try to find some friends. Try to force them into playing together. Sometimes even the friends can contribute to that, but then it's not as bad as it is going to be when you're going to try
isolated.
to isolate yourself, because
Yeah.
you're going to start self-harming. You may find a child just doing this.
Yeah.
This continuous act of playing on your hand or skin, you're causing a motion and it's going to
Yeah.
become rough and you'll end up seeing the skin peel off. These children are going to just shut out. You will find a child and ask them, I would want you to do this, and they will look at you. Because they know if they speak out, you're going to troll them.
Yeah.
But also, as we, the elder siblings or the parents, I encourage myself, my peers, and sometimes I actually tell my parents that when you break down into certain arguments, called for or not called for, or even in the societies I am in, and I see people just sprouting into conflict, personally, I am affected.
Yeah.
Like that tears my joy. Like that is way off league. But I just tell people, like, when you're around these children, they are vulnerable creatures. They are still discovering life out there. Do not show them the harshness, because they are looking up to you to be better. But if you're fighting in front of them, then you're triggering something behind their backs. They're like, if mom can fight, if the maid can hit me, if my brother can hit me, then who am I not to go and hit that boy that says this to me at school? If you can do this, like, the things they see is what is going to trigger their actions behind scenes. So personally, I try to be an example. I try to present myself in a way that is not going to trigger a reason for a child to self-harm or going to trigger a child to think otherwise on what they're going to do or have second thoughts on the choices they're making over their lives. Yeah.
Wow. As a queen who wears 4 crowns, right? Are they 4? Yes, 4 crowns. I believe you've had many misconceptions about the pageant world. For me, some of those that I've had, that you girls starve yourselves, you don't eat food. And actually, there are quite a number I've had. I don't know some of those that you can share here, and if you can help demystify them, because some people think, you guys live a kind of life that is out of this world. So could you tell us some of them? And
misconceptions about pageant queens. And okay, there's misconceptions about pageant queens, and then there's misconceptions about pageantry. So I think I'm going to bias to pageant queens, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Misconceptions about pageant queens is, one, your life is scheduled and planned. Like, you have someone that holds your bag and does your everything. Like, you wake up and you're showered and everything. That's a misconception. We are the people, the normal people. It's just the crown that makes us stand out. The misconception around pageant queens is that as you said, like we don't eat, we starve ourselves to keep in shape or something. Well, we eat, but the thing is, how do we eat? That's the whole point. Different people have different eating habits and eating routines. But at the end of the day, none of us is on a hunger strike. No, we love food, we eat our food, we enjoy our food. Another misconception is, I would probably say, is pageant queens are supposed to be a certain height, are supposed to be a certain skin tone, are supposed to have a certain face. Well, that's also another misconception. I am dark chocolate, I am short, and I have a round face, and I've gotten 4 crowns onto
Wow.
my head.
Wow.
So girls out there that would want to try out pageantry or being a beauty queen, do not take that as something to put you off. You can also do the same. Don't let the world view limit what you would want to pursue for yourself. Those are some of the misconceptions
Wow,
I could
amazing.
highlight.
So I see that there is not any African queen that has made it to Miss Culture International. You are the first.
Yeah.
And that puts a lot of leadership onto your shoulders. And a lot is expected from you as a leader, because you're like a leader that now is meant to inspire, that is meant to nurture and make sure that someone else from Africa shall come and wear that crown. Or even, actually for me, I define a leader as someone that helps the others get even past the level they reached at. So I believe you are in the process of helping to inspire or even nurture Miss Cultures to come, Miss Culture Queens to come in Africa. How far are you on that journey? Are you trying to network all around Africa to see that the crown next year comes back to Africa?
Well, yes. Now, that is the reason that got me featured on this podcast.
Wow, amazing. Oh.
Well, last week there was an exhibition that happened at Makerere University, and one of the things I hate but love doing is networking. I am a very shy person. Yeah, I'm a very shy person. But then because of what I carry, the positions I hold, what I embody, I have to feign toughness and put out this whole, yes, I can take the space, I am confident, I can speak, I can do it. Yeah, so me trying to see that I get another young lady, another young gentleman, because it's not only Miss, it's Mr. and Miss Culture, but I was the first person to go.
How did I miss that?
Well, let's prepare ourselves for a private talk and we see how you
Sure.
represent Uganda for Mr. Culture 2026.
Sure. Oh, wow.
But I'm trying to put myself out there so that people get to know who I am and what I stand for and what I represent. I try to ensure that I network with people that have been on stages I have not been. Okay, like I have been on international stages, but then there are certain networks I have not tapped into. So my being at the Makerere University
At
at exhibition,
Yes, yes.
and I'm like, I engaged with these people. One, the person that brought me there was Wayne Chirabo, the designer, because I had been following her on Instagram and how uniquely she works with the Kikoi to do different inspiring, unique designs where she is based in Spain. And I'm like, yes, this girl coming to Uganda, definitely, I will show up. Like, I was following her tour, and when I saw that she was going to be
Uganda,
at, no, when I saw her story that she's going to be at Makerere, I made sure I made it a point to be there. And then that was a Thursday, but then I had a busy day on Friday because one of the people that was hosting the events mentioned it's a 3-day event. You could make sure to make it a point to come every day.
Yeah.
So I didn't make it on the second day, that was Friday. But on the last day, I was like, one of my other friends, I was like, you know what? No, this thing is still going on. Let's just go and see what they have to say. And that's where I got to meet Mr. Emmanuel, and he introduced me to this whole lot of things. He told me about Harmony of Minds. I'm like, okay. And he was like, I see you have a lot happening. Could we have a chat after this? Yeah, we exchanged contacts and had a brief conversation. And that's when I realized that I am actually before the camera and speaking my story to inspire someone else out there. And this is the way, because now this is being captured and it's getting on record.
Yes.
This is going to be shared by other people, so it can reach multitudes of people. So by me saying this, I am looking. You could kindly reach out if you really have an interest to be mentored to pursue the journey of taking on Mr. Miss Culture. There's also a teen category, that is Mr. Teen Culture and Miss Teen Culture. The reigning Mr. Teen Culture is actually in South Africa. So Africa was represented well. Yeah. So
is there any age limits?
For the teen category, it's 13 to 18. Okay. For the Miss Culture, it's 19 to 32.
Oh, okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So, guys, hope you're enjoying this conversation. It's really amazing. There is a lot to learn. Miss Sanyu here is sharing too much that I'm feeling like, okay, I wish I would reverse back some bit of years and then, just get into some of these competitions, because it's not just about the competition. They help you really shape and position you in purpose.
Yeah.
So as we come to the end of our last segment of this podcast, I'd like to ask you a few questions, and please feel free to give me an answer as fast as you can. Okay. So if your life was a painting, what are the 3 colors that would dominate the canvas and why?
Purple, blue, and white.
Okay, why purple?
It's a beautiful color. It's my favorite color.
And then the blue?
Blue symbolizes royalty.
And then the white?
White is just the light. Okay,
amazing. Between preparing for a beauty pageant and preparing for a lesson plan, which gives you more butterflies?
Beauty pageants.
What's the most unexpected or funny thing that ever happened backstage at a pageant? The crying?
My heel broke.
Wow.
When I was literally the next person, so I had to get someone's shoes.
What? Wow. You have spoken about culture tourism as a powerful economic identity tool. If you had unlimited resources for one big cultural project in Uganda, what would it be?
Uganda is one, and this would be getting different cultures to showcase the different tapestry of art and creativity they have, not just for the adults, but I would forefront the children.
Okay, looking ahead, how do you hope your work will shape Uganda, how Uganda is seen basically?
My work will have influenced the young generation to see and view things from a different lens, so they will be able to go over certain challenges that usually bring a lot of headache to the grown-ups.
What one message would you have for the viewer out there?
The one message I would have for the viewer out there is bring your vision to reality. Never be there and sit onto a talent. Never be there and look down onto yourself. Never be there and say, I am not enough. Never be there and say, I am not loved. Never be there and say, this is not what I am meant to do. Take on the space if you can, but you should if you must.
Wow, amazing, amazing. If someone was to give you tea or coffee, which one would you take?
Coffee.
Loud music or quiet time?
Depends on the mood.
Okay. Painting or catwalk?
I would catwalk and paint.
Okay. Night owl or early bird?
Night, nocturnal.
Nocturnal.
actually yell
If
at
you
me.
could have a dinner with 3 Ugandan women, past or present, who would those be and why?
Uh, 3 Ugandan women.
Uh-huh.
This is a hard one. Okay, one, Maggie Chigozi, Dr. Maggie Chigozi. I would have current generation, Lisa Kusima, influential persons, that is the late Cecilia Ogwal.
Wow, amazing. Why Cecilia Ogwal?
She was a beauty queen as well, and it is said to be she was among the very first Ugandan beauty queens, or Miss Uganda, something of that sort.
Have you heard of Bagaya, one of the
Victoria
queens?
Bagaya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, how about her?
You just said 3, so I gave you the 3 because at least they have politically influential, for Lisa Kusima, socially influential, and then Maggie Chigozi, economically influential. So,
Wow.
like, I look up to those people into those different aspects.
Amazing, amazing. Well, as we come to the end of our podcast today, there has been a lot to learn. It's not just beauty, it's beauty with brains and purpose. As I conclude, I would like to say this one message to you all out there. Each time you get an idea to do something, it's always important that you listen to your heart and do that God has placed on your heart. If at all we had never organized that meet and greet for Wine Chirabo, then how would I have gotten to know her? But it was just an idea that God put at my heart, that why don't you organize such an event? I believe over 120 that came for that particular meet and greet have been blessed by the words of wisdom, the experiences she shared, and here she is even testifying to it that she was able to learn, to reawaken something within her that, I have to push my purpose, I have to keep going. So with these few words, allow me to say bye-bye, but remember, we're always streaming live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Please join us, and may you continue to share this video that it may reach out to more and more people in Africa that might want to take on the same journey of being Miss Culture